I'm going to make a video today on the new COT report, Williams COT Commercial Index. Finally got it working on the Dow Jones futures. I had to message customer support on Symbolic. Looks like they got it working. So starting on Bitcoin, weekly continuous futures. Looks like the commercial money increased their position. As far as last week goes, let's make sure that's February 18th. You can see the red line here went up a little bit, so it's at a 95. So it looks pretty good to me. I mean, as long as they're increasing, most likely the price should continue to the upside. If you want to look at cocoa, which you're kind of late in the party on this one, that's on a 7 count. That's way at the bottom though. You really don't want to be buying that. Crude oil, not financial advice, but crude oils, they sold off some on crude oil. That's a -1 count. Technically, you're still in an uptrend, but I don't know. That's not a great setup. You're on a +7. You're late to the party on cotton. That's probably getting towards the end of the cycle. Could come up here around this 97.45 zone. Maybe this 96.51. Let's see. U.S. dollar index is on a 6 count. Sold off some this week. It's on a 73, so that's below your 74 level. So it looks like they sold kind of pretty much flat from last week. If you look at gold, looks like they sold off a little on gold, even though you had a plus count. That's usually what they do. They sell all the way up, and then they buy as it comes down. Feeder cattle, it's on a 9 count, sell perfection. It did go up another week, but you're not in the buy zone anymore, so I'd be careful on cattle. I think that's rolled over. Go high grade copper, +2 count. That most likely continues. They are selling off. They sold off last week some, but you're still in the buy zone. So I would expect copper to continue to the upside. Heating oil, it's not in the buy zone. Japanese yen, if you want to trade it, that's needs another 2 weeks probably. Coffee, that's a sell signal, way down in the basement here. Live cattle, another week of selling. You're way below the buy signal here at 74. You're on an 8 count. You might get one more week of up action, but a lot of times your 9 bar roll over and sell off. Or it'll be kind of flat. Won't have a lot of change. Natural gas, so a -4. That looks pretty strong, but it could still come down to complete this 9 count. So you could see 5 more weeks of sideways to down action. So I'd probably leave it alone for now until it reverses. You don't really want to try to catch a falling knife here. Let's see. What else? Silver, probably same as gold. It's not in the buy zone. I'd probably leave it alone. I mean, it could bounce. It's in bounce territory, but most of your bounces aren't going to be very strong if you don't have commercial participation. That's what I've learned. So you do what you want, but that's usually how it works. If you don't have the big money, usually your price action doesn't do very good. So the Dow Jones mini futures for stocks, this is what you use to see what the commercial money's doing on the stock market. They are accumulating slowly, but I would anticipate this to roll over at some point. It could come up here and touch this 39,877. That's your next resistance level. But I just be cautious with stocks. I don't know. I just don't like that setup. On bonds, they're selling on bonds pretty aggressive. I think this comes down at least another 2 weeks on bonds probably. Corn's set up perfect. I'm just waiting on the bounce. This thing's like a beach ball held underwater. It could still come down here to this 406.4 price probably at least. Soybeans same way, set up perfect. You got your rally week after your 9 count, but you could have made 5-6%, 5.5% in a week. But now they're playing games, and it's made a new lower low than it did off your 9 bar. So that's a little concerning. That could come down to a 13 count. So you just never know. With commercial money in, I think eventually they'll run it. It's going to have its run, but you just never know when it is. So you're better off waiting for that first price bar flip to print, I think. This number 1 count right here, like it did over here. I think that gives you a better confirmation signal, or at least wait for confirmation on a daily chart. Your soybean oil, same way. It already touched your 325, 30.3. It's at 100% accumulation. It doesn't get much better than that. Oats, they sold off a little on oats. I've never traded oats, so I don't know. It may trade kind of thin. I don't know. There's soybeans again. Well, that was soybean oil we looked at. Yeah, soybeans are set up. But you can see they're on a -4 continuation. After your 9 count, you're on a continuation. So usually once you print your 4 bar, it continues on out and completes your 13 count. So, this could come down another 9 weeks. So I'd be careful on soybeans. That's not a good signal. Even though you got your commercial money all in, you really don't want to be trying to catch a falling knife here, because you're usually you're gonna lose some digits every time usually. Wheat, it's not in the buy zone yet, but if you look at soybean like on a day chart, ideally you want to get above this, what Larry calls a will stop. It's his indicator. If you have symbolic, you have access to Larry Williams indicators, you can get a hold of this will stop. And he said ideally you want a daily close above that before you buy in, maybe even 2 days. If you want to wait for a 2-day confirmation, which is ideal, then a lot of times it'll break above it and then it'll retest it. And if it holds that, then you've got a pretty solid rally. So you're on a perfect 913 on soybeans. That's usually a really bullish. That's a really good setup time. About as good odds as you can get to try to trade that. So I think it should rally, but you just never know. I'm gonna wait and see Monday, see what it does. Ideally, you want to see this. You want to see price action close above this will stop before you buy in. If you're a gambling person and you got plenty of money to burn, sure. That's about as good odds as you can get. But it's kind of like a, I don't know, like a leap of faith or something. You have the best odds of making the most money had you bought the close on Friday. Especially on this 13 count. That's on soybeans. It doesn't get much better than that. I had a soybean meal trade. It did the same thing over here. around, it printed the 13 bar on February 16th. I think I took that trade. I think that was the day I made $1,800. We were flying, I think, that Friday, I think. September. Yeah, on the 16th when we were flying. Was that the 16th? Yeah, that was that day right there. So I traded it that day. It was on a good 4 count. The 1 hour looked good. I was on a plane about to take off to go to Florida, go to the beach, and so I bought it. Went long one contract, a soybean meal, and of course, I was having my phone off nearly all day flying. By the time we got to the beach, the market was closed, but it made me $1,850 in one day. I should have took the profit, but I wish my broker had a button that you could click to say sell my contract at the end of the day. Some brokers have that, some don't. I didn't sell it. I hung on to it, and the next 2 or 3 days it sold off, and I got stopped out. Lost $220. So instead of making $1,850, I lost $220. So it is what it is. Sometimes you swing and you miss, and it's kind of like baseball. Sometimes you hit a home run, sometimes you strike out. Just part of the game. At least I kept I did keep my losses small. 220, that's still a significant amount of money, but I think it's better than 1,000. At least I didn't lose 1,000 or more. Because if I hadn't got stopped out, I probably would have lost at least 1,000. Because it kept going down, and who knows, it could complete another 13 count if it wants to. I don't know. I think they're playing games with it. They're just trying to, the big money. They try to manipulate the price as much as they can till they get their position completely filled. Once they get their position and they're all in, they'll take their thumb off of it, and it'll have its heyday. It'll rocket up. It'll bounce out of the water just like a beach ball held underwater. If you've ever done that at the pool. So, as far as stocks, I really don't feel comfortable recommending a lot of stuff. I am bidding FedEx. They're one of the decent, at least big names, big companies. They pay a little dividend. I don't know, 2 or 3% maybe. When I run the scan on here, but let's see. You got IDA, Para. Here's FDX. It hit on February 11th. So if you put that on a weekly chart, you've already got your rally after the 9, 2.4%. But if you look at the daily, I thought it closed above the will stop. It did not close above the will stop yet. The will stop's 244.60. Ideally, you want to see that close above that. If you feel like gambling a little bit, which I don't mind gambling on it. I've got a bid on it. Let's see, where's it at? On a day chart. I put it on a 4-hour Fibonacci from the low to the high. I'm thinking this 241.25. I rounded up 1 penny off this 382 level. I'm hoping it'll pull back Monday, maybe get filled. I think it's going to take off. I think you can at least get a 6-day rally out of it. If nothing else, you're on a 4 count, so I would anticipate that. 5 days, to continue to the upside for at least 5 days to get the, you can get the meat and potatoes out of it next week. You could take the money, or you could let it ride see if you can get a maybe an 8 or 9 week rally out of it. It did pull all the way back, to Completed a 9 count, I believe. Yeah, it definitely did. It completed a 9 count. Um, Usually, when you get those, that's a pretty good exhaustion of your trend to the downside. And so that's how you know if it prints that 9 and continues to hold that 9, uh, then it's what they call a perfect setup. And so I've just seen those work a really high percentage of the time. There's no guarantee. With crypto, I've seen it. Sometimes you'll get 2 or 3 of them. Let me see, Ruin. I know it printed at least 2 of them on the last run. See, it hit your 9 right here. Pulled back 1, 2 weeks, and then it blew out. Didn't quite complete. You got to a 6 count. This is a continuation, though. So that didn't really confirm my, I was hoping it would come up here to this 790. It may just run out of steam, ran out of buyers. Maybe another narrative got hot. I know AI really got hot here lately. If you can pull, what is it, Ajax? I think Ajax. USDT. I think I got it on here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this thing blew out last week, or this week. It's up 65% in 1 week. 53% last week. I mean, this thing has blown smooth out of the water, man. It's above all-time high. It's at all-time highs, or made new all-time highs. Above 80, I guess. What was the high? 84. Above 84, almost 85 cents. That's when Nvidia reported their earnings. This thing just blew out. So I keep an eye on that. OHI is doing pretty good. I bought in OHI. Had a really good first week after your 9 count. It almost went up 10% in 1 week. I think it's up over 11% total from the lows. So I keep an eye on that, and that's about all I got this week. My battery's about to run out, so I better cut this one short. So we'll catch y'all next week. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you don't mind. Share it with your family and friends on social media, and hopefully we can make some money. Not financial advice, but if nothing else, you get a good education out of it. Learn from my mistakes, and hopefully we can park our yachts together out off in the Bahamas somewhere. All right, we'll catch y'all later.